Hello crafty peeps, I'm Trina and this is my channel, Trina Creates. This is a space where we get into all things crafty, nothing's off limits. You may see some crochet, you may see some cross stitch, but stay tuned and see what kind of craft we're about to get into next. Have you ever had too much of a certain type of yarn and you needed to bust that stash? Well, I found the perfect pattern. It consisted of 5x5 blocks, and once I put the border around it, it was a 6x6 block. I found this pattern going down a Pinterest bunny hole. I'll put a link to the website down in the description box. To get started with your block, you're going to use a magic circle and then chain 3, double crochet into the circle twice, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets into the circle as well. This will be your repeat until you have 4 sets of 3 double crochets. Once you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain 3. To begin your second and final round, you're going to chain 3. This chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. Then you're going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. In the next chain 2 space, you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets in the very same chain 2 space. This will be your repeat all the way around. You'll do the double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then in the chain 2 space, you're going to do 2 double crochets, a chain 2, and 2 double crochets all in the same stitch. Now that you're in your final chain 2 space, you'll continue with the chain 2, with the 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets, and then you're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3. And this completes your square. So these are all the different 5-inch squares that I made with my leftover scraps while sipping on some coffee. Okay, so here's where the fun starts. I'm taking each one of the individual 5-inch squares and I'm placing a border around it that I'm going to use to attach and make this into a blanket so that we have a finished project. So anywhere on any edge, you're going to join with a slip stitch. Then you'll chain 3. This is going to count as your first double crochet. And then you're going to go ahead and then you're going to do a double crochet in each stitch all the way around. When you come to a corner, you're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in each corner, and then continue to work the double crochets all the way around back to the beginning. Okay, when you get back to your last chain 2 space, you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1 last double crochet in the same space, and then slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3. And this completes our block. When measured, it should be about 6 by 6 inches. So these are all of my squares with a border on it. Next step is to sew them together in rows across, right sides together. You're going to use a mattress stitch. There's lots of tutorials on the web that'll show you how to do this. Now for my project, I made it a little bit bigger than what she called for. I wanted to use absolutely all of my scraps that I possibly could. So my blanket ended up being, I believe, 5 squares wide, 6 rows. We're going to repeat that step for the remainder of the row. The next step in the process is to assemble the completed rows together. You'll continue to use the mattress stitch, which is the invisible seam, to sew the rows together that you use to assemble the blocks together. Quick peek to see how things are shaping out. You repeat the same process to assemble all of your rows together. And now we're ready to finish off our blanket with our borders. For the first round, anywhere on your blanket, you can join with a slip stitch, chain 3. This first chain 3 is going to count as your first double crochet. Then you're going to double crochet in each double crochet. It's a lot of double crochets around the blanket. The only thing you're going to do different is in the corners, you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. I'll show you when we get to a corner. And this is where you come to your chain 2 space where you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, no, you're going to chain 2, and then 2 double crochets in the same space. And then you continue on around the edge, putting a double crochet in each double crochet around to the end. Now that you're at the end, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain 3. Our next border is going to be with what I chose as black. For this one, you're going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And this time in the corners, you're going to do 2 single crochet, a chain 2, and 2 single crochet. To end your round, you're going to slip stitch into that beginning single crochet. Okay, for your third, and for me, my fourth and final round, I ended up doing 2 rows of the black because I had some extra yarn left. You're going to join anywhere along the edge. You're going to chain 3. You're going to skip a stitch and then single crochet in the next stitch. Then you'll chain 2, skip a stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and that's going to be your repeat all the way around the blanket. Chain 2, skip 1, single crochet, and you keep going. So when you get to your corner, you're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the very same stitch, then you'll go back to your repeat. When you get to the end, you're going to do a slip stitch into that first chain 1. So here's our finished project. You've got each one of the squares, the border. I also have an edging. I did an extra row of the black. And now you have the perfect, I don't know if you can see it all, the perfect stash busting project. And that's my stash busting granny square blanket. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to see future content. And as always, get your craft on. Bye.